Welcome to the Wardrobe of Life.
Hey.
No, I don't know if you know anything about guinea pig penises.
Give it a bite. No, it tastes like shit. Give it a bite.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Oh yeah, I can hear it. Yeah.
I love pineapple, but you not ever hate when you eat it and your tongue like cracks and bleeds and swells.
In the Wardrobe of Life, there is always something different.
Okay, gorgeous.
We're not a couple. Hello! Welcome to the Wardrobe of Life. We're in the Closet Bar once again, but we've got a special video about the end of Star Wars. It is the end of Star Wars, and we're here with a comedian and a musician. We have Mr. Micky Bartlett and Mr. Barry Locke. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
You're very, very welcome.
Very professional. It's like we're not mates.
So, we're going to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah. At length. I've been looking forward to this all fucking week.
Good.
You swear on this as well, is it alright?
Yeah,
Oh, right.
yeah.
Okay, so that's right from the start. Fuck Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, so, okay.
And do you know what? I like the jacket. That's very Star Wars appropriate.
Yeah.
I feel it's very hothy.
Yeah. I was going
Harry
to...
too. He's got his kind of.
It's like part Tuscan Raider, part Desert Rat.
I was going to wear a cape, but I didn't bring it. It's in London, but that's that. I went with my little wrist brace to kind of go a little bit Star Warsy.
You've got a bit of Sith.
Well, yeah. I'm fat, so I don't fit into anything that's sort of thematic. It's just black t-shirts all the time. You know, but it is, it's sort of dark side.
But
I have a Star Wars wallet, doesn't fit me.
So, I suppose the first and foremost question is, yes or no on The Last Skywalker? No, is that what it's called? The Rise of Skywalker?
Rise of Skywalker.
Yes or no?
Right, here's the thing, right?
Okay.
I loved it,
Okay?
right? But I wasn't surprised by anything that happened in it.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
that first half hour of like, or even the first 10 minutes, Snoke was a clone, I did it, done.
Yeah.
It was very much like, because it got to the point, I would say about halfway through the movie, I started hating Ryan Johnson all over again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe that these people are friends.
Yeah.
Even though I loved it.
Yeah, when I saw it
was
with him, we walked out of the cinema and the first thing he said was, so why didn't they make that fucking movie the last time?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's essentially the whole. It was just a whole film where I sat in the cinema going, "Thank you, finally."
Chewie gets a medal. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there was... Yeah, because, like, I know a lot of people didn't like The Force Awakens, but it was brilliant, and it was a lovely wee, like, here you go, fans.
Yeah, welcome back to Star Wars.
And then Ryan fucking Johnson came along and went, no, I'm more important than you are.
Yeah.
And then The Rise of Skywalker, the first half an hour was just, shh, no, don't listen, listen, no.
Yeah.
She's a Palpatine.
Yeah. I love how J.J. Abrams, before he did it, he said, I'm not going in to rewrite what Ryan Johnson has done. And then you're watching the film and you're like, that looks like a rewrite.
Yeah.
That's another one. There's another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Did you love it?
I loved it, yeah. I really did love it. But also because of how much I wasn't quite there with the Ryan Johnson one.
Yeah.
And what happened there, I think, is because he was trying to make a film for people who don't like Star Wars, and I think at some point it has to be knocked sideways in order for the universe to expand, but otherwise it would be trapped in the end of the Skywalkers, which was naturally coming to its end anyway. So it was like nice to finally see like why that was necessary, if you know what I mean. So it became this kind of a reason for JJ to be able to come back. Because like, if you remember, Colin Trevorrow was meant to be doing the third one, but all of his ideas were centered around characters that survived the second film, but they didn't because of rain.
Yeah. He wanted to do a whole thing with Luke Skywalker and Snoke.
I'm saying it wrong, aren't I? It's not
It's
Ryan,
Ryan.
it's Ryan.
Yeah.
Just spells it
I
with
think
an I.
he spells it with an I, yeah, because he's a dick.
Yeah.
Because he had to be different.
Yeah, Mom, guess what? When it comes up rain.
Like, I thought he might have been Welsh or something, so I just assumed it was Ryan, but I guess not. Ryan Johnson.
But yeah, it's an odd one. Like, because Colin Trevorrow wanted to have a whole ending with Luke versus Snoke and all this, and then obviously by the end of The Last Jedi, there was no Snoke and Luke was a ghost. So it was like
someone told me though the script for The Last Jedi was in and approved before The Force Awakens.
Really?
So I don't know how true that is.
Yeah.
But
see, because what I remember
That's
hearing
the most
was that
confusing
J.J. Abrams apparently had a 3-movie story.
Yeah.
And then gave that to Ryan Johnson, Colin Trevorrow, and obviously himself.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Johnson then changed it all, changed his thing, and was like, well, I'm not going to follow that. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And Kathleen Kennedy was like, okay. And then...
But it's just such a shame because it's like, you love those new characters in the Force Awakens. You're like, fuck, these are all brilliant.
Yeah,
Poe was
yeah.
great. Everybody was fantastic, and then they do nothing with them.
Yeah.
Like even had it been like Poe and Finn going to the casino in The Last Jedi,
Yeah.
it would have been like, well, at least this is kind of here's them building a friendship.
Yeah, because it developed.
Here's them giving a fuck about one another, as opposed to just like, you go over there, I'll stand, I'm going to do this.
I will be on this ship the entire film.
Yeah.
I'll be on there holding away his head and kicking him arc for 2 hours.
Aye.
Like,
And they're making Finn and Rose have that, developing a love story that no one really cares about, but then doesn't go anywhere.
And no one asked for it. So
no one asked for it.
And also Finn and Rey that was going to be a bit of a that felt like it was going to be a love story at the start.
Yeah.
Because you could there was a hint that Finn keeps trying to tell Rey love.
And then that doesn't happen. Yeah. Rey, I forgot to tell you that they were. What? What were you going to tell me? Oh, nothing. You know, and then it's like, okay.
Wouldn't she already know?
She probably would.
Well, I think that's something I'm actually not on board with, was Finn becoming force sensitive, because a lot of problems. What Ryan was doing was saying the force is everywhere and anyone can have it.
Yeah.
So that's like, and that's partly true, I guess, but it's because there had been this other thing, this other force, and in that story hadn't been seen for so many years, and then suddenly everyone's force sensitive again.
Yeah.
Maz is force sensitive.
Yeah.
There was that scene cut out of The Force Awakens where she
uses which is quite a good scene though. It is quite a good scene. And The Force Awakens, there's a deleted scene, they're when they're down looking at Luke's lightsaber. Yeah. The stormtroopers come in and Han Solo gives a whole Han Solo-y like, oh, I'm just here looking for something else, and being all Han Solo, and then Maz goes and makes the riff claps on their heads, and Chewbacca rips off somebody's arms as well.
Brilliant.
But it wasn't. But it's there in the deleted scenes of The Force Awakens. It's like, where is this? That should be there. But with the new one, we were saying this earlier. I think J.J. Abrams did a really good job making it scary. Like the Emperor, he made like what was the line he said? That when you first see him, and Adam Driver says, what can I get? What can you give me?
What can you give me?
Everything.
Just the sound almost gets sucked out of the room. Like, everything. And it's just like, and they've done such a good job of making his voice like his presence and his weapon like it had always been. Yeah. Which Revenge of the Sith obviously turned up too far to the wrong way.
Yeah, it made it too comical.
It like became a parody of himself. But yet they still respected that representation of him by bringing Palpatine back and having him become whole again. Like how you'd always imagined he would if he was full powered and stuff, and then yellow eyes and his face all melty and cool. It was all very.
One of my favourite bits was
very sensitive to
the big lightning bit with the way the sound dropped out. When he does and just like. And it's like, oh.
It was such a good looking movie. It was just I need to go see it again.
It is good. I was saying the other day about it was nice to see Billy D. Williams in it again. But it is that thing. It's like his note. It's like it seemed like he only got one take of each thing.
And very much like you have to be in this.
And like he made the conscious decision. He's like, I'll be in it as long as I can laugh after every line. Like everything he said.
I like this wee truck.
Yeah.
Do you know what I love when Wedge Antilles turned up?
Yeah. But again, see, so this is another thing.
Like Mike Pence.
Is that Jude Law's dad, or is that he?
No, he's Hugh McGregor's uncle.
Hugh
McGregor's uncle. Yeah. But that's another thing though. That's another thing that I thought was weird. Why, like Wedge, for that tiny little bit. I think they could have had him for a bit more.
Oh yeah,
and or even in The Last Jedi, he could have been there. He could have appeared somewhere around the thing because surely he would have been a general by that stage anyway. After Return of the Jedi, so he should have been in Force Awakens and da.
Yeah, because if they're already like whenever The Last Jedi like wiped out the whole like command center with like Leia and Akbar.
Yeah,
isn't that the time?
Wedge could have come in. Yeah,
here are all the characters from the original trilogy. They're still working and trying to do their best, and then suddenly they're all gone.
But I think they did a very good job. But who?
The one thing I don't like about the whole like all three of them though is that there was no kind of like this is how the First Order came about.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, we won. Like,
you didn't.
As soon as we clap at the end of
dancing,
and it's like they come back 20 years later and it's like, oh, that didn't fix anything.
The clap didn't work.
Totally.
The thing that I thought was weird is that the time isn't that long, is it? It's not like there's hundreds of years between the end of the Return of.
Yeah, it's like 20 or 5.
And yet, whenever they went to the Death Star and stuff like that, there, she was like, "This is from an old war," and it's like, but that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
It felt like the time.
I think there's so many bits of it where like because even with like like The Mandalorian, if you don't know if you've been watching that.
What's the first like 4 episodes?
Like it's really good. And what I like about it is like you can see like so the Baby Yoda's obviously the Jedi, Force sensitive, and you can see them going, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Because they haven't heard of it before, really.
Yeah.
Is it a prequel or is it?
So it's after
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi, yeah.
But before Force Awakens.
Yeah, so it's between.
Okay.
It's after the fall of the Empire.
It's like a spaghetti western set in Star Wars.
Yeah,
it's got
really
a really
good.
nice feel to it of just this kind of thing, you know. And and it looks really good. You know, it's very
Nice and practical.
Yeah, very practical effect.
I think it's one of those things with Star Wars. You have to kind of really suspend your disbelief in that, because obviously it's always like the Jedi lasted like thousands and thousands of years in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then for like 20 years they're not there, and everyone's like, "What's the Jedi?"
Yeah. Yeah, it's like even if you go all the way back, go all the way back to Phantom Menace. Even fucking Anakin as a kid, when he says to Qui-Gon Jinn, he's like, "You're a Jedi Knight, aren't you? I saw your laser sword." And you know, so it's like, you know, even this kid in the desert knows what a fucking Jedi is. Yeah. So why, you know, what's happened? You know, what was the suppression that made it? What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point to make. Actually, that's something I've been thinking about after my second viewing. It became more apparent. So, right, Shreve. Palpatine had a son who is Rey's dad. Mm-hmm. Was he a Jedi? There was no mention of like.
Mention of it, yeah.
I know, because there was a point I got quite confused. I thought at one
and his
point
wife was killing Eve.
Yeah, and I thought at one point that Leia had like a sneaky affair at one point, because he said when Kylo Ren says, "I'm the son of a Skywalker," you're the
yeah.
And I was like, "Are you your brother and sister? Are you cousins or something?"
Yeah.
But that was just because I wasn't paying that much attention.
But then there's even that, you know, where did Anakin come from? Because she, you know, the whole thing, you know, there was no father and you know, the miracle birth. But then fan theories suggest that was Palpatine's doing, made her pregnant. So maybe they are.
Hasn't that been universally panned as not canon?
Possibly.
Not that it matters now.
But is it? But is it part of Legends though? Is it still? Because that's the bit that.
It was originally canon before Disney took it, I think.
Because that's the bit that kind of that has annoyed me about the final three movies, is that they've got like Disney went, okay, we're getting rid of all that. That's going to be Legends. It's still going to exist, but it's not part of this anymore. Then they brought canon in, and then JJ has had to go, we're going to use some of the Legend stuff.
Yeah.
So Palpatine's rise. And we're going to have to use that.
Yeah.
Because you guys have totally fucked it.
Fucked it up, so I have no choice now but to dig into the reserves that were already there.
And do you know what's really annoying me about it as well? And it's because I keep forgetting, right? They're kids' movies. We'll have to remember.
Yeah.
But they're fucking not.
They're for us.
What really, really annoyed me was that as soon as Luke gives Rey Leia's lightsaber, I'm like, oh, another toy. And then at the end, when she turns her own lightsaber on, and it's a yellow one, and I'm like, oh, another fucking toy. Because Disney are really good at just going, like, I know obviously George Lucas always said that everything was a toy.
Yeah.
But Disney, it's like they stop the entire movie and go, new toy, and then...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it was even like in The Last Jedi that we...
in Solo, when Darth Vader turns his lightsaber on, or Darth Maul turns his lightsaber on, and he's on a video chat.
Yeah.
Like, there's literally no need for you to have that.
Yeah.
But then it's like, there's a hook on it, so it's like, new lightsaber.
Yeah. It was even like in The Last Jedi, the other BB droid, the First Order BB-8 droid with the kind of square hair that doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Just follows him.
Says thank you in this one.
Dio.
Yeah, Dio, the other funny droid.
I've already seen the thing on Amazon today. It's like you can get the remote control one, and it's like,
sorry, no.
They did become a lot more like pets in this film. It was a very heavy pet.
Like her touching his Ariel and stuff when she gets back. She's like,
excellent point to make, right? So you know the way bloody Poe Dameron is like loves BB-8 and they're like friends and stuff, but yet he has zero respect for C-3PO as a droid. Is that
that's a weird thing.
He's like, yeah, alright, C-3PO, alright.
Robot.
What are you doing there? And he's like, I'm literally trying to look out my friends. And he's like, like it's like an exhaust for him or something.
He did become very kind of like, it just sort of happened in this film where it kind of you just really wound him up.
Yeah.
Like C-3PO just wind Poe up, something shocking. And I was like, why did that? Yeah. Where's all this passive aggression coming from?
Yeah, he's really unlikable, isn't he? He's not a nice person, really. He just pretends to be.
Yeah.
He's not actually a nice person.
But it's kind of one of those things where, like, again, there were so many little bits of The Force Awakens, and apparently someone said that J.J. Abrams was really good at, like, doing that, where he'll start a movie, like a project, leave all these little Easter eggy bits
Yeah.
and then just fuck off
Yeah,
and leave it.
yeah,
Like, you do it.
Lost is a classic
Yeah.
example. It's like I've created the most mysterious TV show. What happens? I don't know. I'm not directing it. I'm done. See, I just came up with the idea. Yeah.
Because wasn't his thing was the fans came up with ideas that were better than what he had conceived.
Yeah.
So it's like, well,
Yeah, he
I can't
does.
top
J.J.
this.
Abrams, he likes a mystery box and then doesn't know what's it, never knows what's in it, and doesn't like to reveal what's in
That
it.
was the whole thing about Poe surviving the crash in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
It was like, what did he do during that?
Yeah.
And the fans were going, he's going to fucking turn. He's going to be turn out to be a Sith or something.
Yeah.
Like,
but
and then it's just like,
wasn't.
yeah,
I'm a mutineer basically.
Yeah.
yeah, that's my jacket. Do you want to buy? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, is there any characters that you would have liked to have seen in the new one that you didn't?
From the original trilogy?
Batman, that
or-
would have been fucking.
Yeah, from the original trilogy, or or is there anything that you would have liked to have seen done differently?
I never really felt in the whole sort of series that they dealt with Boba Fett and that sort of storyline right.
But again, Boba Fett was always because he was never supposed to be a main character.
Yeah. See, I think even
like,
that. See, I was saying this to you the other day. I was like, if they were going to do that, if they're going to take that character and bring him into the new stuff, I was like, why didn't they should have made him Max von Sydow's character at the start of Force Awakens? You know, because
that was another.
Like, who's he?
Yeah, he's in it and then not.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's a good
so
good actor with gravitas. You know, why do we bring this person in to then just have him killed off? And who is he? You know, because even remember before I came out, we were theorizing like, oh, he must be an old Jedi of some kind, or you know. But he wasn't, just some dude.
Yeah.
But if it was Boba Fett, that would have been a really interesting thing, like that he's old and retired.
Yeah,
and
because Boba Fett does in Legends he survives a
Yeah.
doesn't he? So that would have been great.
Not going
Like,
out somewhere
yeah.
in that universe, but where? Is
Yeah.
the question. Yeah.
I wonder, is Boba Fett inside my Millennium Falcon? I have Millennium Falcon with characters.
nerd.
Yeah, very much so. But no new ones.
okay.
There he is. There is Boba Fett right there.
Let me see. Are these like original?
From the 90s, let's say.
Oh, wow.
Wowzers.
I do love a Star Wars toy.
Oh, aye.
Yeah.
Oh, and then classic, obviously, you know, for this, because I don't have any new characters, but we do have
Is that the battle droid from Mandalorian?
IG-88. Yeah. Yes, we've got Palpatine, the Emperor, and that was nice. What did you think of that? Han Solo coming back.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
was
good.
a shock. I was not
Yeah.
expecting that.
No, neither was I.
When Chewie finds out Leia was dead,
Yeah.
my fucking heart broke.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
I liked how they handled the whole death because she wasn't there because she died.
Yeah.
yeah.
But that, which was amazing that they were able to use like shadow and light and make it work. For
Yeah.
what she was doing, like
Yeah.
reaching out to herself.
It was
and
really,
stuff.
really clever. Was it you who said about it? We were talking about Leia and how good she was in it and stuff like that. And you said, I mean, she didn't even know what fucking film she was in
And she was
because
still brilliant,
she was,
yeah.
and she's still brilliant because
Yeah.
she didn't film anything for that film. You know,
Yeah.
they just cut her out of other stuff and you know and did it, but did
Reaction
it,
shots, like-
did it so well,
Yeah.
like
Do
really
you know
well.
what I really love the quick flashback of Luke and Leia training.
Yes, yeah.
That's
Because
super cool.
there's one thing that I don't like about it as well, and I did love it. Right, I know it's like I've been way more negative, but Daisy really can't fight. Like the fight scenes are terrible. And I don't know if just because Adam Driver's a former Marine, he's too strong.
He's a big lad,
He's a
like
big unit.
yeah.
And a lot of the action sequences just feel a wee bit like, oh, yeah, it looks like she's going, oh fuck, it's gonna hurt. You know what I mean?
What confused me about the style they've gone for in these ones is that they don't look weightless. It's all the weights in the hilt that it's
Yeah.
massive, but it doesn't look like the way that they.
Yeah, they look like
swing them.
heavy.
It looks like they're already heavy, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't be. So it's like it's
Yeah,
hard
like
to-
broadswords.
I think
It's
it's
like,
really hard to imagine how you would go about that and make it look well without it. Because it's like those mechanics and how your body moves can only do that if there is no weight in the blade at all. But
Yeah.
they must need it for impact, so it's hard to even imagine what they could have done. Because
Yeah.
obviously our whole thing with the prequels was that as cool as it was in episode 1, it became too elaborate.
yeah, by episode 3 it was
Jedi,
far too much.
It basically becomes like the proper martial arts again, and you're like, oh, that's a bit. I'm not sure if that would really.
But it
Be
isn't,
like that
isn't
or
that
not?
to do with the fact that was kind of the Jedi reaching their pinnacle
Yeah,
So,
before the fall.
before
yeah.
the fall, and then when the fall happens, there's kind of the knowledge and that energy is kind of lost.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why these look heavy again because
Rudimentary almost.
they've gone back to kind of basics.
Yeah.
with-
Yeah.
Fair enough. Because I actually
When
think
it
their lightsabers in the prequels look really cheap. Because like they don't look metallic,
Yeah.
like plastic.
Yeah.
And, you know, basically it's straight from like creation onto the shells for the toy thing.
Yeah.
But like the ones that they use in this are like really gold inlay and rose gold and stuff. That looked really cool. Like what we saw with Palpatine's saber in Revenge of the Sith was like, it was really elaborate.
Yeah.
Really lovely like colours and stuff, and that's like really important to me as a detail. If I was going to have a lightsaber that I made, I'd want it to look class rather than just like her one at the end is black. And you're like,
yeah, but isn't it one of her? And again, it's another fan thing. It's the top of her staff.
Yeah.
The whole time we were always saying she at some point she's going to stick her lightsaber in that and use it as a force staff, and she never does. But unless that's something they do later on, like if they ever revisit her character in another decade, she'll have like a staff. Like
I've heard that like they're going to, so they're not going to make any more trilogies.
Yeah.
There might be a few standalone movies and stuff like that. But I kind of like the idea of like knowing there's going to be 3 more Star Wars.
I'm looking forward to them.
Yeah.
Even if it was even if you knew it was okay, it's going to be 10 years before this kind of happens again, or whatever. At least you know, kind of in the future, you're going to see what happens to them. You know.
I think Disney are going to be so greedy they're just going to just like ram it to death.
Possibly.
It's law of diminishing returns. Then it's just going to get less.
The product's going to get weaker.
Weaker.
Well, the product's going to get weaker, mate.
So whilst it's called like Rise of Skywalker, for me, I took that to mean after seeing it twice now that it's actually Ben Solo's story because he is a Skywalker.
Yeah.
So it's like it's actually his arc the whole time they've been trying to complete, because we had this theory a while ago. Wouldn't it be class if Daisy Ridley suddenly became the Sith in the before we saw Last Jedi and it was up to Ben to rescue her, and then once that theory got destroyed. And I then lost interest in Kylo's arc in a sense, because I thought, like, how can he come back from killing Han Solo anyway? And I had no idea how much I wanted Ben's redemption until it was happening. And I was like,
There's the one bit where he's fighting a couple of stormtroopers and you see him go, where he's fighting the Knights of Ren, but like, and you're like, oh, he's human. But I get what you mean, like, because I quite liked him as a baddie because he was so just fucking petulant, just like he was just spoiled wee bastard. And I thought that was an interesting way to take it.
Yeah.
But like he had to die after he killed Han Solo. There's no
and do you know what? Well, that's the thing. As you say, how do you redeem him from killing Han Solo, like one of the series' most iconic characters? And really, the only way to redeem him is to have Han Solo redeem him. You know,
with the "I love you" line, he never says it, but then he still is. I know, and it's like my redemption.
But does that mean is that Han Solo being force sensitive as well, coming back, or is that just was he imagining that?
I think he's probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
Unless it was Leia.
Yeah.
Because she died shortly after.
Yeah. She was still like out knocking about in the ether, and then she like went with Ben. To the netherworld, as it were.
Yeah, it was definitely it was that the whole Harrison Ford bit threw me, because obviously he says, "Hey kid" or something like that, but then when I was watching, I thought it was Mark Hamill. Yeah. Because at the end of the Last Jedi, I go to see you around, kid. And so I thought, oh, here's Luke now going to arrive and do a thing. Yeah. But no, then it was Han Solo, and I was like, what the fuck? Yeah.
But again, it's just so annoying that you never got to see old Luke
be a fucking badass.
You know what I mean?
Even Rey pulling the fucking transport out of the sky. Luke should have had a go at doing that. Yeah. You know, like pulling something out of the sky, being that powerful guy.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this fight. So that fight they have when he has the aerial. If that had just been a lightsaber, that's already covered.
In The Last Jedi, when he's fighting with Rey.
Yeah. If he'd had his green saber there, that would have been class and all fine. But I think it's because we're so used to seeing like the actual Jedi artistry and how impressive it is in person with like lightsabers and force push and stuff, that we maybe don't appreciate just how impressive the force projection is. Because when he does that, you're like, okay, and then you accept that it could kill him because it's like got so much energy to project his self. But then
that's the same.
So easily, in the it's like they're doing force phasing, as I'm going to call it.
And they're taking stuff.
It's so easy for them. It's like, why did Luke die? You know, when he's like, yes, he's been locked off from the force, but he's literally living on a force-sensitive island the entire time. They're probably like gathering all sorts of strength from it. And
I think you're right.
Especially then, I won't had my own theory that Luke was never even physically on the island.
Yes, that he was going to be force projected.
Yeah.
I thought that as well, and I thought that would have been, because that's what I was kind of going. I was like, this film's going to start. I thought this film was going to start with like Luke's eyes opening, and he's going to be somewhere else, and even older or more like fucking, and he's done
smoking a fag.
He's done a double jump, you know, kind of thing. He's like but because it ended did that essentially because he died. Used the force too much, you know, or used all of his energy. Then same with Leia, and then same with Ben Solo as well, you know. So all of a sudden you got 3 big characters, 3 Skywalkers all doing the same kind of thing, and it's like, oh, okay, But yeah, they shouldn't have got rid of Luke so soon. Again, as we said, because do you remember you were in London when Force Awakens had come out, and we were sitting in my kitchen, and you hopped up onto the bench and you put a cigarette in your mouth, and you're like, "So what do you think?" And I said, "What do you think?" And you just looked at me and went, "Heartbroken, heartbroken, mate, heartbroken." And I was like, "Well, Han Solo," and you.
I remember, like, the second time I saw Force Awakens, it was way worse than Han Solo. Like, I knew it was happening.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck! Like, I remember thinking, hopefully they've redone it.
Yeah. Maybe they've edited it.
Like,
yeah, like they've had to do with the Cats movie. I know we're not talking about Cats, but they've had to redo the.
Yeah.
Basically, then,
right?
Chewbacca is the true hero of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because he's the only one that
survived.
But managed
I
to
know
live.
C-3PO as well.
Yeah, they all do their bit though.
C-3PO was brilliant. I thought
C-3PO
C-3PO was
because he's had all that pressure from Force Awakens to be not used again, essentially. But like 3PO really was a scene stealer this time round. Everything he was saying, like that's class. This is C-3PO as he's supposed to be the whole time.
Yeah, bumbling idiot.
Yeah,
but
like
really sweet.
Wasn't it quite cool, like the red eye thing when he had to recite the Sith language? Because like, isn't it quite cool that it would be like is that something that Anakin Skywalker would have done whenever he was building him? You know?
Yeah.
So when did it become a thing that he didn't?
Well, I'm guessing it must have been whenever they wipe his memory and he starts working for.
Leia, the Organas. Yeah.
So I'm guessing they probably
protocols were put in.
Yeah.
Why would they know to do that?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a standard thing.
Is it though? In a place where the Jedi haven't been recognised, or
well, no, but that was because whenever they first went to the Organas, that was straight after Order 66. So I'm guessing that. Yeah, I'm guessing like it must be one that was kind of like
that's like
don't went to the
taboo with it.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the language of Mordor, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, like,
let's say that
honor
then.
it.
Yeah, it becomes taboo. Like Voldemort in Harry Potter, like he's saying his name is taboo because it's like such a dark presence, and people want to remove it from history.
And again, all of this just every time we talk, I just go fucking Ryan Johnson because had there been another movie where they could drop some of this in, you'd been like, oh, this is all perfect, all perfectly tied up, neat little bow, great, we understand it.
I messaged Richard late after the night after we went and seen it, and I was like, I want to see a supercut of just 2 films with all that bullshit just taken away. And just edited into the proper
Canto Bite and all.
Canto Bite. Yeah, that character's not coming back. Benicio del Toro. Like
and
then
Captain Phasma.
Phasma was going to be. Wouldn't it have been amazing? Right, I know it was Hux in the end that was the spy, but wouldn't it have been amazing if it had been Phasma? Which is like, I'm the spy. And joins the resistance.
There was a point where there was a female First Order employee.
Yeah.
And I was like, you hear her speaking first time, it's fucking Phasma, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's just like, she calls them like whenever they get caught.
Yeah. I know what you mean. But I think even the Hux being the spy, because Barry had said that before we went to see the film. He's like, I reckon Hux is a spy. And it made sense. But then again, it's like the film needed to tell too much to rectify problems. So it was very fast paced. So it was all of a sudden. Hux is like, oh, that's interesting to look into for development. But then, boom, get Richard E. Grant to kill him. Okay.
It was nearly suggested, just in terms of the way they handled the hanging silence between the idea before it actually came to its like natural fruition in the scene. Was that General Pride was the spy?
Yeah.
Whose ship was that? They were like one of the situations.
I said that to you, didn't I?
Yeah. We were watching. He went, is he the spy?
Yeah, but then it was almost implied as well that he was also a Sith.
That was a weird thing, because there was definitely something weird with his eyes, and I don't know if it was just meant to be a reflection of the hologram, but it was the line he said, I continue to serve you the way I did in the old wars.
Yeah, as I served in the old wars, I serve you now.
Yeah, I was like, so who is he?
Is he a fucking Sith? Because if he had lived, is that not an ideal person to carry on?
Yeah.
If you're going to do other films, like there's another Sith Lord. Who isn't the Emperor.
Although I did enjoy his death, I did enjoy running to the window and then
him just like being blown out a little bit.
That is always cool.
That was good. I was like,
I want to hit Disney.
Yeah. Definitely though, having seen it twice, the second time round, I found I said this to you, that the impressive bits of the film I found more impressive. Because I said after we saw it the first time, I said it didn't have the same effect as Endgame had. Because Endgame I was like, but then the second time round when I saw it, I did. There was bits I was like,
yeah. When the entire galaxy turned up, I nearly jumped out of my seat.
Yeah.
Second time round. That was me. The second time round, I was like more impressed this time.
Yeah, the second time round with that, I choked up a little bit. I was like,
see the Ghost, the ship from Rebels.
Oh yeah.
Like right behind the Falcon.
Yeah.
Just a wee like, there you go.
Ashoka's voice as well.
Yeah.
Ahsoka. She's one of the voices. I read it on it because I was like, who were all the Jedi? Because I wanted to make sure that everyone had been accounted for. And everyone in that voice scene, when they're all with her, are all people who played the characters.
Yeah, because you hear Liam Neeson.
Yeah. Because I thought are they just going to get random people who've never actually been credited as a Jedi to do the other voices, like Ada Galea, Sakura, all those ones. Yeah, all that, because I always love female Jedi's generally. I'm a sucker for a heroine, so I was like insisting that they were credited, and they were. So it's good.
Yeah. No, and I thought, when you heard the Jedi voices, amongst them as well, did they use James Earl Jones without on it and just have it like as if he's old Anakin from when he got his redemption?
They might have done.
You know, like as a line in
I
there.
was kind of half expecting to see Hayden Christensen turn up as a Force Ghost
at
the end as well. Because I was like, you know what? Even though it's sucked in Jedi, I was like, that would have been alright.
Yeah.
Just to have.
Do you know what I thought was weird?
He looks quite like nowadays in his aging. He looks quite like the guy who
Sebastian Shaw,
who played. Quite like him, like around the eyes. I think they actually nailed his casting, but it was just too early to tell. It actually did pretty well.
What I noticed, what I said after we saw it, was clearly when you become a Force ghost, you still age and time still passes, and your hair still grows. Like the makeup department put like some lady's wig on Mark Hamill. You know, just like this.
I think that would make sense though, because it's not death.
Well, yeah,
it's
does.
It's another realm.
His hair was very heavy and just pulled down. It was very flat and like.
Yeah.
It was like
he can still interact with the real world.
Yeah.
Ghost.
Was he that even another
so
thing?
Fat. He looks way fatter than he is in Jedi robes.
But do you know what?
Like him wearing a high belt. Like he's in his 60s.
Doing nothing for a spectacle.
What is that?
Black number suit.
Yeah. What is that? Because even at that, you saw them when they did Force Awakens, and they all got into shape and they lost all the weight. And Mark Hamill looked fucking brilliant, you know. And then it doesn't look like that in the film.
He still did. He still did in Last Jedi when he was doing the fight with Kylo.
Oh, well, that's true. When he was a bit, the face fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a funny one, but definitely what was I going to say? I've had a brain fart. I can't remember.
Ah, fuck. Well, that's the end of the podcast.
Just turn around.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
While we're obviously on Star Wars, Rogue One and Solo. I would bin Solo.
Oh, without a doubt. Rogue One was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, Rogue One's in the top 3 Star Wars
Yeah.
It really is good. Solo was like, I don't know why they even thought about making it in the first place. Yeah. Because the whole point of Han Solo is that you don't really know where the fuck he came from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He shoots first.
Like, yeah. He shoots first. What is the new edit? McClunky. Greedo says McClunky now. Like the last edit George Lucas did, he had Greedo say McClunky.
Yeah.
And then shoot.
Yeah.
And then Han Solo shoots him. You know, it's just like, and then the weird edit.
Like
he dodges the laser.
No.
It's so strange.
No, thank you, George. I'm sorry, but no. Well, that's another indicator that somebody needs to take that off him just for a while.
Well, listen, that is the thing, I think, with George Lucas. What George Lucas unfortunately didn't realise is, although he was responsible for Star Wars, he's kind of not responsible for it. Yes, it was his idea and his brainchild, but he had so much help with the original trilogy that then when he went and did, like I was saying this to your brother the other night, Ryan was saying, see, the thing is, the original Star Wars, the 2 best Star Wars films weren't directed by George Lucas.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the ones he directed weren't as good.
Yeah.
But, I think there was times they needed a bit more.
I think it's because everything else he's tried to make has been absolutely shit.
Yeah.
Like, apart from, like...
I think he's good with stories, and he just needs someone to take his story.
Have you ever seen Red Tails? Like, I still think it's one of the funniest.
I've seen Red Tails.
I haven't seen Red
It's a
Tails.
World War II movie about
Cuba Gooding Jr.
It's about a Black Squadron.
The Black Squadron. But he obviously, it's still George Lucas, so he's made the dog fights look like Star Wars fights. Like, there's planes doing things they can't fucking do, and it's so badly written. There's a point where they land, like survive this mission, and one of the guys gets out of his plane, opens his wallet and goes, "Thank you, Black Jesus," and there's a photo of a black Jesus. And you're like, George Lucas, what the who have you been talking to?
Like, here's another one, like Willow. I love Willow, which is one of his stories, but it is just Lord of the Rings, but just tweaked slightly. You know, little people, big people. You know, and it's not a ring; it's a baby that they're trying to fucking get. But but he's got. I think when his stories are done by other people, it's generally a bit better. But I asked Barry this earlier, but we hadn't got to an answer. What is your favourite iteration of Palpatine?
Okay.
So out of It can be one of the original trilogy, episode 1, 2, or 3, or Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, or the most recent one.
I think the most recent one.
Yeah, I think it was great.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I liked the fact that he was plugged into a big thing.
I liked that he was all.
That was cool.
I liked his black lips and
his cataracts.
Just the class. It's the darkest look they've ever gone for in terms of any of the characters, and it's so good.
Definitely.
He was definitely scariest this time.
The treatment they did on his voice, the recording of it and everything, and how they used the sound to create the threat of him and stuff, and all everything surrounding him, like all those like acolytes, all surrounding him in the big coliseum and stuff. That just made so much sense because that's what he does. He influences people, and it's like amazing that there's this whole another Senate, another empire of people like waiting for him to ascend again, and it's like
And when you seen all those ships, it was genuinely frightening.
Yeah.
Each one with a planet destroying technology. It's like you are a maniac.
You're going to kill like the planet. They emerged from rock, it just kind of looked.
That brings them all up. You know, oh my god.
Like even the detail of having the missing finger and stuff. You know, like the decomposed fingers, and it's like. Ugh.
I love that bit, like when he's like, stand together and die together," and he sucks the life out of him, and it's so class because it happens so fast you weren't expecting it. Oh my god!
But again, it's even the sound effects. You know, like when he says that, and it's like. And it's like the cuts the sound all of a sudden.
The squeaky lightning, like the. It's like everything has a really class, like the way they've done it. They've layered the sound and then they put it in different frequencies, and you're going like, oh, listening to it, and it kind of makes you uncomfortable and brings you right in to this world they've created where he's obviously spent most of the other films, like all that time he spent there cloning people, like Buddy Snow, and all sorts of weird things. And there's no way of knowing what the extent of that was because we only got Snow.
Yeah. Well, there's a question: if you were going to do another spin-off, a la Rogue One, Solo, or whatever, where would it be placed?
I like Poe's friend Rousey, was he?
Oh, the gold-headed chick with the red suit.
Yeah,
I like her. Yeah, she looked really class. But just I feel like if she never takes the helmet off and it's only ever her eyes, I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But then Kylo Ren was the same. I don't think Kylo Ren should have taken his helmet off in the first film.
Yeah. Wait till the second film.
Because it's surprising what he looks like. It's like, even when you watch it, knowing what he looks like, it's always a surprise when you see his face. Because you're like, really? That's what they.
Your head looks bigger without the helmet.
Yeah.
Because he looks
really weird.
He looks like a young, like Severus Snape most of the time.
Yeah, because he's got quite a prominent nose. Yeah. And yet that thing kind of comes in.
Yeah. It's one of those. I was saying this to you that it's. I never considered him to look that like Harrison Ford up until the very end, when just before they kiss or after they kiss, and he smiles. I was like, "Fuck, he looks really like Harrison Ford there."
Yeah, he doesn't kiss Harrison Ford.
Yeah, no, he doesn't kiss Harrison Ford. Yeah, when he kisses Ray.
That'll be a movie.
Yeah. I buy that for $1.
I wrote that movie in my head many times. But I think there's like I think as far as like another spin-off, I think Mandalorian's really interesting at the minute, just because it's at the start of the New Republic.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing where the Empire's fallen, but they're still in this sort of period of like trying to set up a new kind of galactic fucking government or senate.
Yes.
Things are still a bit shit.
An unpoliced thing.
Yeah.
And Stormont still isn't fucking working.
Exactly. Yeah.
Still not going.
Yeah. Palpatine's cheating on his wife. But I think. Yeah, that's where I like because even I think the Obi-Wan series is going to be during that same sort of period.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to see more of what happened between the Empire fallen and
the First Order starting.
Yeah, do you know what? I think it's just got me thinking what you're saying about like focusing on a character that's maybe not had the delivery of their arc really done in the best way. Because the real victim of the entire saga is Shmi Skywalker. Because whatever way you look at it, she had a baby without wanting one, so somebody forced a child within her.
Yeah.
And that created Anakin Skywalker, say. So at some point there's a really dark story to be told about how that came to be.
Yeah.
And then she is then kidnapped by Tusken Raiders and sees her son one last time and dies, never knowing what became.
What the fuck she did.
Yeah. But that's like, because she's like the real, like, the story failed her the most.
Yeah. Like she's the biggest loser of it all. Loser's not the best word.
Slave was inseminated artificially somehow by the Force or whichever part of the canon you go to. and then had to give her son up to Qui-Gon Jinn, the worst Jedi of all.
Yeah. Have you seen that video on YouTube?
No. The supercut of all Qui-Gon, like, not doing it right, like, it's like, I don't sense anything. And
Yeah. I was like, credits will do fine. I was like, no, they won't.
Yeah.
It's like, credits will do fine. No, they won't. I'm dropping his lightsaber and stuff and getting killed. Like, it was very funny.
What's the Force midi-chlorians?
It's like everything you did wrong, it's for Qui-Gon, but it's like, isn't like the whole thing, like I don't know how far you've gone into the lores, like the whole thing with the dark side is that you can actually use it.
Like Grey Jedi, do that kind of, yeah.
Yeah, Mace Windu's whole thing is he floats literally, it's called Shatterpoint, isn't it? His the whole episode on the Clone Wars, where it's all about he can find the exact spot he should hit for the maximum impact, but in order to do that, he needs to use the dark side to do it or something. So it's like I think that's how it goes. It's like he's literally on the line. So like he's in no position to judge Anakin's game.
Well, that's the thing that I kind of would like to see as well. Is even like Luke's Jedi Academy sort of thing. Is that because that's something to try to do in the Last Jedi bit is him going, listen, they got so into their own bullshit. That's kind of why the Jedi fell apart because they were blinded by just like dogma and I would like to see what's. And even the idea of like at the end of the Last Jedi when that kid grabs the brush, like, I'd like to see him being trained as a you know,
where's his story go?
Yeah, hopefully nowhere because that's what happens to the rest of the people that went in that film.
I sort of think that's what Rian Johnson was kind of trying to do, in that he was trying to get rid of the Jedi and the Sith and make kind of like well balanced human, well balanced kind of people. But it just wasn't what people wanted. You know what I mean?
I just think you can't do that in one movie with that. Do you know what I mean? It would, that would be like the next.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
but
his job was to start to finish off this story that had started 40 years ago.
Yeah,
because there must be a name for it. Because like right in the middle is the Force, and then there's one side is Jedi, one side is Sith, and then up there you get those weird Force switches that they tap on in the Fallen Order.
Yeah.
And then people like Maz. So there's all these other religions that use the Force. Like it's like a secular thing.
Yeah.
So what are you if you're just the Force? Then is that something they were getting at? Was that there's two opposing forces, but it's possible to be balanced? Right. Restore the balance. They're saying to her in her head to restore the balance, but how can she use both? Like she's got lightning, thing, but how can she use it for good? Not be considered bad if it's all from the dark side, but if it can that be a good thing as well?
True.
You know, like the Force interrogation stuff as well, like that Kylo uses. I'm not sure you call that, but he can like torture you in your mind. It's a bit strange, but it's all like, shouldn't they be using all that kind of stuff if they're like spying on people and going to hunt people down? Why couldn't she use the dark side just for a moment to kind of stop a bad person? Rather than it being, oh no, you can't use the dark side because I mean you're sick.
I think that's probably the problem the prequels have brought up, was just like there's that complete separation, which is well, because Luke Skywalker chokes a guy in Return of the Jedi.
Okay, you can't, so we can't.
That's true.
Two guys, in fact.
The way in. That's the thing.
Trick it to Blinky, fuck up.
That's a very good point. What did you think of the wee fun thing? The wee robot Blick? Yeah. Blick, robot brain of black.
The wee thing.
He was enjoyable. He was an enjoyable little creature.
Let's see him again.
There was a nice balance of comedy in that film.
It should be like this.
It was a better balance than it was in The Last Jedi, because Last Jedi had this thing of when they build a moment of tension, they'd undercut it with a stupid joke rather than just
like a message from your mum.
Rather than just make it a semi like her. It was always a fucking proper clanger of a, it was like, what the fuck was that? Whereas this, it balanced it a bit more.
Oh, do you know what I do love actually? Right, so anytime you go somewhere where it's like a dark Force sensitive place, like in Last Jedi Under the Island, and let's say, oh my god, you went straight to the dark side, but it's not that. It's more like her fear has always been of herself. Which is why when she went into the room, it was a mirror, and she saw an endless path of herself that only ever led back to her. It actually really did a really good thing there, I think, because then when we saw that in the third one, when she was getting the holocron thing, it was mirrors again, and then this time she was faced with a physical representation of what she could become. But she didn't defeat it. It just ended, and she had the holocron, and then she had to fight Kylo. It's one of those situations where I want to spend more time in that, like Jedi trials and stuff. I want to see what happens in there. You don't ever hear about it or get like a little taste. But what happens if she can't defeat herself? you know?
Yeah.
She can face it. Does she just become the Sith or what? Or it's like
does she just become the Sith?
It's like God
what?
kind of was there, you know, because that's his arc was part of hers.
Yeah.
And she didn't have somebody to oppose her, and she was just against Palpatine. She probably would have lost, and he would have then convinced her to become the Emperor's Palpatine. And that would have been awesome.
Yeah. He would have convinced her.
Yeah,
I want to see that.
I would have been all over that as well. Had it been like, she just goes fuck it.
Here's the end of Skywalker Saga, we failed.
Yeah.
Just like, well, or whatever. Yeah, it becomes like the darkest Jedi that anyone's ever seen, and then nobody can help her, and she destroys the entire world, the galaxy.
Like, sorry, Master Luke. Yeah.
Any disappointments?
That sort of forced projection stuff was really disappointing. The first half an hour was just so fast paced. It was too.
It was
I
very
actually found
fast.
it hard to focus on some things. It was like what the, and even like the whenever Poe puts the Falcon, that sort of like.
Yeah, that icy place.
The skipping, like the hyper.
Oh yeah.
Is that their way of going? This is how he blew that ship up.
Well, that was the other thing that I liked when he said when Dominic Monaghan was like, "We need to do some Holdo maneuvers, you know, really make some damage." And then
well, is it 1 in a million?
Yeah, that was 1 in a million, and then move on. You know, it was like, yeah. But I think that's how they probably are implying it because he's not fucking properly.
Yeah.
Fully going into
just
it.
dropping it down a gear.
Yeah.
Like second.
Yeah.
I found their dialogue between the trio when they all landed were kind of forced. They're doing that like Gilmore Girl thing where they talk over each other. I go, what? I thought you told me that. No, I told you blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I'm in the scene too. Blah 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 blah. We have to have dialogue. You know, it's
Toy.
like,
Yeah.
And someone's like everything's like typical of the characters. Like, oh, as usual. Here we all are at it as usual. And it's like, well,
Again, fucking Ryan Johnson. There was no.
Yeah.
Had they been a build up of that in the second movie, it would have been great.
Yeah.
You know?
Keeping them together for one.
Yeah.
It's okay to split them up for some things, but I think they needed to all be together for all that to matter. Because Poe still is already unlikable. I really want Finn to stop shouting Rey.
Yeah.
He shouts like, Rey.
Oh yeah, there was not like.
It's just too many, and as I stop shouting, she's not gonna.
She can't hear you. She's too far away.
She's fighting Kylo Ren. What can you do, Finn?
Yeah.
You've already tried to use the lightsaber, and
He sliced your back open. Yeah.
To be honest, you are good with it. So, what's she gonna do? And she's trying to save you by not recklessly sacrificing yourself again because we've already been there.
Yeah.
And stop it.
I think as well because that's the thing with Finn and Poe. It's that thing. It's like it's a mistake to try and have 2 Han Solos.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
You know, it's like because it's like which one's which. You know, like who is going to be the Han Solo character? Because then that's why you've got Poe being a bit of a dick. You know, like to C-3PO and doing all that, but then he has this other side where he's. You know, it's just it's like the clash too much.
Do too much, I think.
Yeah.
Perhaps Poe peaked in Awakens, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Even all those bits, like when they go to Todana, is it called that? Maz's castle.
Yeah.
Like when he did the kind of best stuff he did there as an extra fighter because he didn't really do anything beyond that in the other films. Even
that's a shame because I actually wanted. I like the character, but I think it just wasn't enough done with it. And I love what's the guy's the actor.
Oscar
Isaac. Yeah.
I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He's a dreamboat. But
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. But it's just a real shame that there wasn't enough. And again, it all boils back to The Last Jedi. They brought more characters in.
Yeah.
They had time to.
They brought in extra characters that they really was that thing. They didn't need the extra characters because they had older characters they already had who they could have used, like Admiral Akbar. You know, they kill Admiral Akbar in Last Jedi to then have introduce Holdo to then kill her by doing the thing.
Yeah.
If Admiral Akbar just did that, like in that those guys, how it should have ended. You know, it's a trap. Boom! Drive into him. You know, that would have been great.
Yeah.
You know, and despite the fact that people don't like the light speed smash into a ship, if it was Admiral Akbar who did it, I think people would have been a lot. Yeah, people would have been like, fine, yeah, that's fine because he's Admiral Akbar. That's
Did a Laura fucking Linney?
Laura
Dern.
It
was Laura Linney. It was Laura.
Laura Linney's love, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Laura Linney. It would have been a lot more like. I think you know, like.
Why are we doing this?
Oh my god!
I love that. I love her like when she like always stand up to Poe, being like, "You're repulsive, you're reckless, maybe a little dangerous." You know, it's all like her in those bits. But like, I hate that there's a whole story that hasn't been told between her and Leia, and just like, you taught me that, and it's like, when did that happen? I want to.
Yeah.
Also, I think I'm the only person that actually liked the Mary Poppins bit in Last Jedi.
I loved it.
I didn't.
I
liked
it
the idea of it. I didn't like how it was
It was
done.
magical, and it should be.
It's the fact that
It's
she
the
went.
first time
It's like, guess what? She's a Jedi too. Yeah, I liked it.
See that I'm all behind. It was just the visualization of it I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that it was this that it looked like Mary Poppins, that she was flying. I would have been, if she was in space and she did a kind of, her hand twitched and it was more like the ship went towards her rather than making it look like her going.
But then if that had happened, then it would have been like, well, why did she not just pull that Star Destroyer into?
Well, that is
into
true.
a star?
Yeah.
That is
Or,
true.
like-
Well, what we were saying, we had this other idea of when the shot hits the thing and she does a thing where she's sitting there and she looks up and realizes that's what's going to happen and gets sucked out into space. If she used her force power then and went like that and then fucking put up some magical force bubble that let everyone, let Akbar and all these people escape, and then she went and got blasted out herself. You know, that would have been a really like.
Yeah.
Or like her ass. I think if you were going to see her use the force, if it was only ever going to be once, it should have been like something like some sort of false repulse whenever Han died.
Yeah.
Or something. Whenever he got killed, it was like, oh, boom, it all comes out of her, and everyone's like. And then maybe she's the reason that the resistance was destroyed, and she becomes like, oh my god, I'm
But yeah, it's a shame that, like, I do hope they make another trilogy at some point.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't give a fuck about Rey, to be honest. With that stage now,
I
I'm
like
like,
her, but I don't really. I wouldn't mind if it wasn't her again. I'd like to see her again, maybe, but I want to see like why she would see her again. But
I think they should just go, right, we'll make Last Jedi again. We'll just do a second one.
yeah,
Yeah.
We'll just do it.
Yeah. Well, I always even had this theory because I was like, as I said to you on the phone, it was like George Lucas sold Lucasfilm for $4 billion. You know, he's a very, very rich man. And I saw an interview with him. Yeah, with nothing to do. Well, that's the thing. Someone interviewed him and said, "No, you don't have. You know, what do you do now with your day?" And he's like, "Oh, I make movies." And I'm like, "Oh, well, you know, when movies?" And he's like, "Oh, no one's going to see these movies. These are just, you know, So, but he's still making. Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. But I then took that to mean that George Lucas has gone and made his own 3 Star Wars movies with Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher. Yeah, yeah.
They're like the old style.
Yeah.
All the old equipment time. It's like it still works.
Yeah, let's do it.
Still a filmmaker of opportunity.
Yeah, so someday a Last Jedi is going to come out with different things.
Here's the thing. I don't know if this is. Did the Falcon have a circular dish on it again?
Yes.
Yeah, it got fixed. Yeah.
It's just.
Nobody did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
They're just got a circular one again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They must have been.
I get why, because in Force Awakens everyone was like, it's the wrong dish, and I'm like, well, that's because it came off and...
Yeah.
So I get...
Yeah.
I kind of like the fact that it had a wee repair on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know why that reminded me, but I seem to have noticed, like, from Last Jedi and onwards, that whenever they do things like screen makeup, say, they make his eyebrows here, like under his eyebrows, like highlighted with like red, so it looks like he's wearing eyeshadow. And now that I've pointed it out, you'll never know on the really. It's like he's wearing eyeshadow. So every time he turns around, like, it's like kind of draggy.
Okay.
Okay.
It's got like red under his. Maybe it isn't there. It might just be. It's like red skin rather than his lovely dark skin. It's like red here.
Why have we never seen Maz put on her goggles again?
Yeah.
I liked when she had big eyes.
Yeah.
She did wear them in the last Jedi scene that she was
Using a jetpack.
Yeah.
and stuff, and then chooses not to do anything else. That's what she's like. Looking to Leia, explaining to the audience what's happening with Leia. So that's what her purpose now is to like. Be like,
Like
Leia will
Storm,
die.
like Storm in X-Men. Just kind of anything important times.
She just
flies away.
Storm. Like Jean. Yeah, like Storm.
Use your power. It just takes off.
Takes off like.
Bye bye.
Yeah, I'm not here.
But the general consensus is we're pleased.
Yes.
I think I need to see it again to say that I'm definitely pleased.
Yeah.
I think there was.
I was the same, which is why I
saw
saw it again. Yeah.
But there was also, I think there was too many moments where I was going, oh, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, it's purely because of The Last Jedi.
Yeah. But you know what I think as well? One piece of advice I would say is go and see it again and don't read shit things about it. Because
somebody posted something on Facebook where he was like, I really enjoyed Rise of Skywalker, and I've just read an article that explains why I shouldn't have, and now I'm fucking fused.
I can fully say that.
Yeah.
That is just like, you know, and it's like, but, you know, don't read that. You know, take your emotion
You're never
that you
gonna
got.
get the film that you wanted.
Yeah, true.
It doesn't happen, but I think there's so much in this that just makes peace with all the problems I had before.
And
Yeah.
the ethos is right. The ethos of the whole thing is right. It feels right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Feels like a Star Wars film.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it really does.
It really does.
Yeah.
Like,
And seeing it, like, even regardless of what Star Wars movie it is, watching it in the cinema is like, this is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Would you hear that?
Yeah.
You're right.
Although, do you know what, I would say if I had to pick, well, let's say that, the worst part of the film, I would say the worst part for me was the opening crawl.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, who wrote this? You know?
I know. I think it took me a wee while, a few minutes to get past that.
Yeah, it's like,
because you don't read it in the voices in time because you don't see it as a threat. You're like, it's like the dead speak.
Yeah.
Because it's like in capitals and it's like ba-ba-da. Music, so like, and it's like you're being like told this like public announcement thing.
Yeah.
By like a radio broadcaster rather than it being the dead speak. And it's the most sinister voice we've ever heard. We think it might be Palpatine, but it's like no way. I don't know how else you would have done it or worded it because that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, well, it is what happened.
Imagine had the Last Jedi ended with hearing that laugh.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, he's going to be in the next one.
Yeah.
The opening was at the end of Last Jedi after he got off. That was a crate after he left.
Yeah, that would have been
Maybe there's all. I don't know how we get there, but that being the end, and you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, I think for all of his faults, Rian Johnson, what he did do well was there was a lot of really lovely visualizations in his film, but that's down to art direction. Art direction on his stuff was fantastic, and he had some brilliant ideas.
Like,
but then
also really bad mistakes. Like we've got bombers now, and they're dead slow.
Yes,
and there's no shields, and they're full of bombs.
I like it.
But they were just the most useless.
Oh, they were shy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It felt like watching Memphis Belle, and that's what I like about Star Wars. Is that Star Wars is almost like watching an old-fashioned film. Yeah. But in a sci-fi setting, like in the originals.
It was supposed to be a kind of.
That for me, the first 5 minutes of the Last Jedi were the best bit, and then after that, it was like, oh, fuck. And as soon as he threw that lightsaber over his shoulder, I was like, this is fucked.
Yeah.
I got 2 hours here. I've only got half a bag of popcorn left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? that was ruined for me.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. What do you think was the worst bit of the new ones? The new one?
Worst bit.
Or your least favourite bit?
I think, right, I know why we have to do the force heal thing.
Yeah.
Because we need to get to the point where you can't just suddenly do it. But the whole snake scene where they find the Sith dagger, she heals the snake, but it's quite a nice moment for her, like respecting nature and whatnot, and have it respect her in return, because that's what the force is about for all living things. Yeah. And it reintroduces this idea that yes, force heal is a thing. Nobody's ever used it, but it's a thing. But then they have to do it again, obviously, for Kylo. Then again, Kylo does it to her, and it's just like a lot of times has been used then. So one less. But and I think if you have to choose, there has to be the snake. Then that has to go because you need the other two for the story. Yeah. So that's like one thing I was like.
Wasn't a big fan of the Goonies dagger moment. Like,
oh yeah. That was a very Goonies. I didn't even think. It's straight from the Goonies.
Is that landscape never changing?
Yeah. Does the ocean not shift that wreck at any time?
Speaking of that is my the bit that annoys me the most is the fact that they were like, oh, we can't cross now, and she just gets on a steamer and goes, then they're like, oh no, how are we gonna get there? And then they get on a steamer and everyone gets there.
It was always possible, and it's safely, and then one neck.
Yeah.
Let's get it back. What's the problem? How the fuck do they?
Yeah, I think
oh, wait.
Finn.
No, I can't remember.
I think Finn in this one had his dialogue was much better than it was in the last one. He had more to do, and his story was better than it was in.
Yeah. Finn's actually a really good character. Because what I love about Finn was he is the first person to ignite the saber, and when it happens, it's like, oh, yes. Lightsaber, and it's great, and his class, and he gets that whole fight with the traitor guy with the new stormtrooper thing, and it's like so amazing to see.
The Boba Fett of Force Awakens.
You were convinced at this stage that it's him, Finn's the Jedi, and then it's not, and you're like, so he had a really class arc in that sense, but it's ruined in The Last Jedi because they lead him off this quest just to get him out of the way, to have him be somewhere he didn't need to be ever, and actually it was all just to get him back to Phasma to end her storyline too. And actually she had more to give, I think, and Finn's better for having been constantly confronted by his past, whereas Rey doesn't have one in her mind, so it's her future that is the thing. So you need those two things. Like Finn's running away from something, Rey's running towards something. So it's like.
I remember thinking when Force Awakens came out that there was going to be a point where Finn and Poe get trained as Jedi.
Yeah.
And I just imagine that. Like, can you imagine just that one? Like, fucking here we go! Because I know there was like a lot of fan theories about, because the way when they're outside Goggles Girl.
Maz.
Yeah, when they're outside her castle and like Poe's fucking flat, like the way he flies.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people going, that's Jedi flying.
Yeah.
More sensitivity, kind of.
Yeah.
I did like the idea of it just being like maybe Leia trains a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, like a special trio where they're all like at one mind, and they can lock in to one mind where they all work together afar, and do this and create this like support or something that they can all give to each other, like via each other's like force sensitivity or something. I don't know, but it'd be quite cool. Yeah. Wouldn't that?
Yeah.
Imagine like when Finn needs it most, he's then able to like stop like rockets and shit because of Rey, who can like put herself through him to stop it for it to save him or something. Okay. You know, so it'd be quite cool because they're so like connected. That'd be quite a nice way to, because they can already force phase. There's no reason to think that she couldn't just dip in and out of people if she wanted, because Palpatine can possess people. So it's like
true.
So why can't she? She's a Palpatine after all. After all.
I also do think it's very disappointing that like Rey and Finn didn't get together, and this is
finger bang
this is outside of like Star Wars. This is a Hollywood problem because he's black. They won't let a black dude go with a white woman. Yeah, it's never happened in any movie ever.
Really?
Yeah, I read an article about it.
Is that why? Do you think that's why they brought in Rose?
Yeah,
because then that's like
Chinese.
Oh,
that's
right.
Like
the diversity boxes are being.
It's not even that. It's like they literally will not let a black dude and a white woman. It's never happened in a Hollywood movie ever. I don't think.
I'd much rather be Finn than Kylo.
Yeah, it made more sense.
Yeah. Kylo's like kind of rapey. Because he's just going to force it all on, I think.
Yeah.
But how does she know?
Yeah.
How does she know she wasn't just being force tortured the whole time? And she's like, Ben. And he's like, oh,
you like it, don't you?
Yeah.
You do like it?
You do. I thought that was an interesting line, when she did the mind trick to the stormtroopers, but it was then Finn and Poe saying, "Should have done that to us." So it's like kind of like the Men in Black, okay, how many times you flash this thing at me?
Like, fuck!
Why did the two stormtroopers automatically become like stoners? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, great to see you. Love that you're here.
Yeah.
I feel an overwhelming sense of relief.
I heard this happened to Daniel Craig recently.
What's that bit where he's just the guy, the pilot, he's like, could you be a little more like positive or something? And he's like, it's going to be really great. You're going to be amazed how this turns out. And it's like,
J.J. Abrams' his mate. Yeah, who's in all the things J.J. Abrams does.
Like the Lost alumni. They get into all the films.
Yeah, and then he got killed.
Who's the lady? What's her name? The one with the large nose.
Yeah.
Who's in A Last Jedi? And there's a really awful scene with her where she has her face like that way, and the camera's there, and the pan's around, and just like, let's just hope this flies. And it's like awful. It's like the camera has to focus on that point. It's like, whoa. And it's like,
she's the lady that she always reminds me of. Have you ever seen the Doom movie with The Rock in it?
Right. No.
Right. It's really bad. But there's a guy in that he's got the same kind of like lizardy kind of face, and he goes. Every time she talks, I'm like, I think she's going to go.
Yeah, it's like Last Jedi, which is like, let's not make a scene.
Yeah,
just like an angry like mum or something. She's like curly hair and her massive nose, and she's like,
yeah. She was in it was the Enfield Haunting with Timothy Spall.
Yeah. Okay.
She plays like a clairvoyant who gets possessed by the demon in the house. And she's perfect for that part of like a little woman who's like saying cunt loads. Evil wee bitch.
She was like, because she's like, obviously she gets lots of like time to mourn Leia and be like, she's gone and stuff, and it's almost like, but her character was never established in any way. She's just in scenes and has some dialogue. Who she is and what she does and everything. So it's like, all right. So you just sort of have to accept that whenever they make those films, like
she was Leia's bib for tuna.
Yeah, it's more like Nina Gold's casting, isn't it? Where she just has all these people that are like, I'll do it, and are free to work, so they all just get put in it because it's Star Wars, and I think they must just do it for like I don't mind if I don't get paid. It's bloody Star Wars.
Yeah,
that's why it is like even like your man.
Then again, Nina, if you are watching, we'll all happily. Take a job.
What's the name? Miranda?
May the force be with you.
What's the Miranda?
Oh, the guy from Miranda from. Lynn Miranda.
Yeah, from. He does a musical.
Yeah, there was something.
He's in Golden Compass. I can't remember his name, but he's in Star Wars. But I never saw him. But I saw him like in the cast photo. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So he's in.
Is he the guy from My Family?
Mary Poppins. The new Mary Poppins. the gaslighter guy.
Oh yeah.
He's in Northern Lights now.
Is that fucking musical that everyone's banging up, that everyone loves, and I can't remember the name of it?
Greatest Showman?
No, the one about the slavery, the Hamilton.
That's
Yeah, the guy who wrote Hamilton.
Yeah, he's in that.
Oh,
Yeah.
did he write Hamilton?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things,
The
like
Gaslighter?
they just get to be in it because they know they're like, oh, I'm an actor, so I'll be in it. Whereas, wouldn't that be nice if it was for fans rather than our?
Yeah. Well, see, I think a lot of Star Wars cast, Star Wars for me always works best when the cast is unknown.
Yeah.
Unless it's obviously the lead who become famous because of Star Wars, but the rest of the cast you shouldn't necessarily recognise them because
I was thinking this the way up here because I was thinking it's a shame that like Star Wars should have been a career launcher for Daisy Ridley and John Boyega.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, it probably won't be. And then I thought, well, it wasn't really for anybody but Harrison Ford. Because Mark Hamill would do mostly voice stuff.
Yeah.
Harry Fisher in Drop Dead Fred, and then fucking.
And Harry Met Sally and cocaine, yeah.
It's like Scream 3, yeah.
Turns out the one who slept with the director got the part.
It was nice to see her though in things. She crops up, you're like, oh, Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher is fun to see in things.
Wasn't she like a ghostwriter?
Yeah, she was apparently a really good ghostwriter. Carrie Fisher did. So apparently she did a lot of ghostwriting on The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, because they found. So the original Star Wars, her script was always annotated with notes and alternative lines that she had come up with, and she'd say, "George, can we try this?" and all that. And then by the time it got to The Empire Strikes Back, she'd done it even more so. And then she did things like, what was the film? Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman. I think she wrote that. I think she ghost wrote that. And
I've seen her publicly executive producer and stuff.
Yeah, Hook. She ghost wrote Hook as well. The Steven Spielberg Hook. Yeah, she ghost wrote that. And loads of things. She was very into doing that. Yeah. But she didn't.
An interview with her in France, and it's Harrison Ford, and the interviewer asked her in French, and you realise she's just fucking fluent in French.
She was cool. She's a cool lady.
She's all a little lightsaber. You go, Jesus.
Our friend Matt was working in Madame Tussauds, it was a month before she died, wasn't it? That she was over to see the new Star Wars exhibition, and Matt went into Madame Tussauds looking for her, and was looking for her on CCTV, going, where is she? I need to go and see Carrie Fisher, and then he never found her, and then it was that flight out of London that she died on.
Did she die on a flight, did she?
Yeah, she died on a flight back to America.
Did she hit her head or something?
No, I think she just died in her sleep. Yeah.
What? No, I thought something had happened. She didn't know how to fall or something.
No, she was
her mum.
That was her mum.
Oh.
Well, no, her mum died of a broken heart. Her mum fucking...
Somebody fell. I'm going to find out who.
Well, they said that Gary Rhodes fell, but then they said that Gary Rhodes hasn't fallen.
No.
Yeah, he fell.
I know, but can't look it up. Was it not a 2-stage thing? She suddenly became unwell and something had happened. She fell.
Well, I know. All I remember is she was on a flight and she went to sleep on the plane and never woke up.
I think it was
falling asleep.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway,
maybe she just fell ill.
Yeah. Yeah. She fell for the discounted prices on the flights. It's never true.
These prices are hard stopping.
Hey, Carrie Fisher, we've only got death sandwiches left.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Sorry.
Well, yeah. I think we should wrap this up.
Nobody.
The Rise of Fisher, bless her. God rest her. She was fantastic.
Yeah, the Phantom Meningitis. That's the last one. Sorry.
Very, very good. Do I have her? I don't have her in here actually.
No females.
No females.
Oh yeah.
That's not true, surely.
Yeah, no.
I'm not sure.
No. Leia, do you know what? Leia is in the action. I have a big Millennium Falcon, like the actual Millennium Falcon toy, and that's where. And that's where Leia. That's where the New Hope characters are. Because they spend most of the time on that, so I've got her and Obi-Wan Kenobi and shit. But anyway, shall we wrap up? And that was our review. We enjoyed it. It was a review. It was a chat. It was a...
you know what? I'm really glad we did this. I love talking about Star Wars.
But you're going to go and see it again and give it another go. I'll probably watch it again at some point. I've seen it twice and enjoyed it.
Praise the charm.
Yeah. But generally, I think consensus is good.
Should we just go now?
Yeah, why not?
Consensus is good. Consensus is positive, I think, about it, which I think is a good thing.
Working on that there fire stick.
One of my mates has it on his phone already, like a horrible camera version. I was like, "You're your dirty dog."
Has anybody seen the re-edit of the fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader?
Oh yes.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. It's really good.
It's almost too good because it's like, why couldn't it
just get Disney to buy that and stick it in the fucking film.
Yeah. They put on it.
Yeah.
You should be able to do that.
Somebody online
somewhere they fed that in. somewhere.
Yeah.
You can watch the whole film and then get to that bit and be like,
There was somebody online that did a supercut of the 3 prequels into one movie. It's about 2.5 hours, and it's like half an hour from Phantom Menace, and then an hour from Attack of the Clones, and an hour from Revenge of the Sith, and stick together, which means you get loads of stuff cut out.
Yeah.
And it's just like mostly lightsaber fights.
No pairs being cut up.
No pairs, yeah.
physical pairs.
Yeah. But then she slurps into her mouth. It's not she eats.
Imagine the Foley artist being like, at the right time, like opening a pack of ham or something like just to get that exact sound of like lips parting.
That was when we heard bites, like.
I love Space Parent so much.
Space Parent. Well, yeah. But thank you for joining us. So go and watch The Force Awakens. Good feels are about it. Thank you very much to Barry Locke and to Micky Bartlett. Check out their own things. Mickey is very funny and Barry is a fantastic musician. So go and check them out. Google them and find out stuff. We'll put links down here where you won't be able to see them. And yeah, we'll be back again. When we're putting this out on Christmas. So if it's Christmas Day, have a nice Christmas Day. And have a good New Year. And
don't need too many space pairs.
Don't need space pairs, yeah.
Don't need any of them, they're bad for you.
And go see Star Wars and enjoy it. We kind of did. So, yeah.
These aren't the droids you're looking for? I don't know.
Yeah.
Richard and AJ's Wardrobe of Life podcast is available on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Check out our YouTube channel, Richard and AJ Video.